What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Duel, back here with another Diablo 4 video, and today I kind of want to go over the new trailer that Diablo put out I think it was a couple weeks ago, basically going over the future of Diablo and what the expansion is going to bring us when it comes out in April of next year. So to kick off the new year, I just wanted to jump right in and talk about it because I have some thoughts and opinions. Maybe they're not very valuable, but hey, let's just jump right in.
Hate me. Your fate is my doing. You think you've lost everything, and yet there is so much more I can take.
All right, so before we talk about that, I wanted to talk about earlier. It said new campaign, so obviously this is just going to be expanding on the story of Vessel of Hatred, and we're going to finally get to fight Mephisto, which everybody's been wanting. The community was pretty vocal about fighting Mephisto's dog. I don't know. Maybe I'm one of those weirdos, but I don't play the game for the story. I'm not like super locked in. I mean, I have a general idea of what's going on, right? But most of the time, I just play to blast, so the story doesn't really mean that much to me. It doesn't need to be this groundbreaking story that's going to be like next level, like Clair Obscure 33. It doesn't have to be insane quality. I'm not in it for the lore or anything like that. But that's me personally. Maybe there is some people that love to play for the story and love the Diablo lore. That's totally fine. But personally, that's not going to impact me a whole lot. It's how it's going to impact my gameplay. So to me personally, that's what I'm interested in. But obviously, that's what we're going to be getting here. All right, so obviously we've got the big reveal, which nobody saw this coming unless you're just an insider at Blizzard, I guess. But there's two new classes, and obviously we got the Paladin here. Huge W from Blizzard with the Shadow Drop of the Paladin. I had a ton of fun playing the Paladin. I didn't have any issues playing with him at all. Didn't have any bugs. Very fun to play. Very excited to see what kind of builds we get with him in the future. Hopefully Blizzard doesn't nerf him into the ground, but overall, I really liked playing as the Paladin. I thought he was a ton of fun. And yeah, I'm just excited for more of him. And then over here, we got this other class, which we don't really know what this is. Somebody was theorizing on Reddit that it was the Amazon due to like data mining and leaks and things of that nature. But after further waiting and seeing what the community had to say, it appears that that's most likely not the case. There's two things. There's two possibilities here. One is that it could be like the alternative to the paladin, or like, I guess like the yin to the yang. So this could be like a demon type class, or maybe the demon hunter, or it could be like a warlock type class. It could be a brand new class altogether. I kind of like that theory. Like you got the holy light type of class here, and then this is like the exact opposite, which is like a darker type class. It's kind of classes with the paladin. So I really like that idea, and I kind of hope that's what it is. Or we could be getting a brand new class altogether, much like the Spiritborn. Both of those things could be true, right? Like it could still be yin and yang to the paladin, and it could, be a brand new class together. Someone was saying the Death Knight, because this kind of looks like a cape here. Like, so we don't really know what this is, and I guarantee you it probably, not guarantee, I can't guarantee anything, but it does look like this is a cape, is all I'll say. To me, this could, but it could not be. Maybe that's not a cape. Maybe this is some awesome armor that they're wearing. We really just don't know. But I'm very curious to see what this is. Maybe it's like a vampire type class. Who knows, right? If it's like a blood type class, I mean, they kind of have the necro for that, but I guess we'll find out what it is in April. But very excited. I'm sure we'll find out before the launch, maybe. Or maybe Blizzard will keep us in the dark, literally, no pun intended here, until the expansion drops. So, very curious about that. Let me know what you guys think. I'm just very curious to see what this class is and what he's going to be. Pretty excited. Obviously, if you pre-order the expansion, you get this class already and you get Paladin. So that's pretty cool. So, all right, we're going to move on here. All right, so we got the Scovos region here. Looks pretty cool. I mean, I don't really know. The thing with Diablo 4 is that you don't really interact with the overworld too much. You're usually doing Infernal Horrors, you're doing Nightmare Dungeons, you're doing the Pit. The only time you're really in the overworld is during Helltide, so I guess this just means we're gonna get a new Helltide zone. Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything. Like, this is cool and everything, but this is like the overworld expansion doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, obviously we're probably gonna get another world boss to go with this region, but as far as like gameplay goes, it's just gonna be new aesthetics. I mean, it's nice that they're adding something, but I don't really feel like it adds anything to the game other than something new to look at. But I'm open to being wrong and I'm open to being surprised. Definitely got surprised with the Paladin, so let's see what Blizzard's cooking, and I guess we'll just see what happens on April. All right, so the Horadric Cube. So obviously, if you've played Diablo 3, this is a nod to the Kanai's Cube, which I'm really curious how this is going to work because in Diablo 3, you would take the Kanai's Cube and you would take legendary powers from your items. Basically, what we already have with the Codex of Power. So I don't really know what this means or what this looks like. Maybe it means they'll add like a new GA to your item, like a random GA, which would be pretty cool. Besides what you've tempered, maybe it could be like an affix from another gear type on your item. Like, let's say maybe there's like a defensive affix on your pants and you want to apply it to your sword. That could be interesting, something like that. But as far as I know, we don't have any information on this yet, but I'll be very curious to see what this actually means and how it's going to work. All right, the bonus skill variant options. This is pretty reminiscent of Last Epoch. If you have ever played Last Epoch, basically what you have is you have like your core skills, and then you have like one skill. Let's say, I don't know, it's an axe attack, right? And then it splits off into 5 different options. Throw 2 axes, or your axe grows 20% bigger. You do 3% more attack speed. And these are just examples, right? Things like that. So this is what they're looking like they're trying to do, which is pretty exciting. I don't think it's going to be super advanced. Like at Last Epoch is obviously not advanced as well as Diablo 4. They're not as advanced as Path of Exile 2, but it is cool that they're expanding on it to give us a little bit more options. Other than, hey, this skill does 10% more damage. Hey, this does 10% more attack speed. So hopefully with these changes, I'm pretty excited to see what comes out of this, and maybe I'll actually get to make a build for myself that's actually pretty cool. Haven't done that in a while since launch, or at least, yeah, since launch and the Spiritborn launch. So I'm pretty excited, pretty curious what's going to turn out from this, but I guess we'll see in April. All right, Talisman equip set bonuses. So what does this mean? So in Diablo 3 and pretty much any other ARPG or any type of like MMO, if you get like a certain set of armor, right, you get a set bonus. So basically you wear every single piece of that set. That's why it's called a set bonus. You get bonuses from the item. So, but this is like in a form of a talisman. So I don't really know what this means. Does this mean like you can get uniques and then put them into the talisman and then you equip it, sort of thing? But those aren't really sets. So what that means is they're probably going to have to add some sort of set mechanic to the game for us to get something like this. So we don't really know what this means yet. Very vague. Definitely need more details on this because Diablo 4 does not have set bonuses right now. So obviously we're going to get some set bonuses. Maybe it means that like wearing certain gear, you're going to get certain bonuses. Hopefully it's not just wearing gear, like the gear that's already in the game, and then let's say I do 200% more overpower damage or something like that. I think that would be pretty boring and doesn't really change the gameplay all that much in my opinion. It just makes builds stronger. So I'm be really curious to see, like, are we going to be the game is already riddled with people doing like billions of damage and trillions of damage. Is this what this is going to be, or is it going to be something different where it's like transmuting your abilities, that type of thing? So really curious to see what they're going to do with this. Like, I guess my thing is like I don't want the game to just be, because that was the Diablo 3's biggest issue, is you would equip your set bonus, and basically the meta for the season was basically applying whatever the set bonus was for the gear that you got for the season, and that's what pretty much a lot of people played if they were playing the top meta build. So I don't want that to become what this is. So I'm very curious to see what this is going to end up looking like on top of the Horadric Cube, on top of what we have with the Codex of Power. So this is what I am. Let's go back here just a second. This is what I'm really excited about. War plants customize your end game. So you've got like your war plants here, Infernal Hordes, Nightmare Dungeon, Helltide Whisper. You get the idea. But you can see it's drawing like a red pathway to the activities here. So I'm really excited about this because what this could mean is like, oh, if you do like 5 of these objectives and then at the end, maybe you get like a chest filled with one-handed swords with GAs, or maybe it boosts how much GAs you get. Maybe it boosts how many mythics you get. This is the type of thing I want in Diablo 4 that makes something like Last Epoch a ton of fun. I love Last Epoch. It's probably my favorite in between ARPG between Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile. It's not like Diablo 4, I would say, is probably the easiest ARPG to get into of all time. You know, same with D3. And then you have Last Epoch, which is kind of in the middle. And then you have Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2, which is way more unforgiving and harder to get a build online, harder to become super powerful. You know, but that's fine if that's your type of game. I'm not trying to dog on any of these games here. Just my personal preferences between D4 and Last Epoch. So if we're heading into the direction that Last Epoch takes, which is basically the more you play, the more rewards you can get. So I really hope that this is the kind of system they're working on building towards, because then this would extend my playtime within the season, right? I put in over 200 hours last season on Last Epoch. Yeah, so just a ton of fun. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the Circle of Fortune on Last Epoch. And if you've never played Last Epoch, highly recommend it. If you're done with the season and you want to go play a different ARPG, Last Epoch is definitely up there, at least in my personal opinion. So very excited to see what this looks like. I hope it's more advanced than what we have here, and hopefully we get some like customization of like what kind of gear we get, like what stats, are they GAs, are they mythics, you get the idea. So hang on, I want to go back here. Let's see here. What did that say? Battle endless hordes, echoing hatred. So this is interesting. What does this mean? Is this must be, if I had to guess, is an expansion on top of the Infernal Horde system? Would be my initial assumption anyway. So this I'm excited for. This is awesome. I'm really excited for this. Obviously, an endless type wave type of thing, like a Vampire Survivors type with Diablo, is already great with the Infernal Hordes, but this could be awesome. Like, how long can you go? The longer you go, the X amount of spoils you get, like gold, gems, gear drop, things like that. Something really rewarding, because if nothing's great with these types of games, like Vampire Survivors or any bullet hell type of game, is just sitting there blasting waves of enemies. And Diablo is no stranger to this. You're just sitting there playing with your build and just destroying mobs and mobs of monsters. Just so much fun. It feels so good. The dopamine hits are off the charts. Really love it. Hopefully it's not like the pit where you don't get anything from it besides leveling up. So very curious how this is going to turn out, but I'm excited for this.
Fear not, child, for hell is no longer coming. Hell is already here.
I love that ending there. Look at this shot of Mephisto. He just looks so badass. That's awesome. I might have to use that for my thumbnail. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. My initial thoughts is I'm excited, and I'm very curious because I don't know what to expect. That's really the most exciting thing about all this is I don't know what to expect. I don't know, like with the Horadric Cube and the set bonuses and the endless hordes, like very exciting stuff. Like more things for me to do in Diablo 4, and that's exciting to me. So I think the game is headed in this direction right now, so we can only keep going up, I guess. So very excited. Let me know in the comments what you think. What are your thoughts? Do you have any opinions, takes? What do you think about the Horadric Cube? What do you think about set bonuses? How do you feel about sets being added to the game in general? Is that bad for the game? Is it good for the game? Just let me know your opinions. And once again, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. You do not have to, but it does help out the channel a lot. So I'm going to end it there, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.